is also kind of an informal thing, guys. So, I mean, I will talk your ear off about cheetahs. If you ever have any questions or you want to shout out or ask something. Also, as we're painting, we are doing a lot of canvases here. So if you see one that you really like, you can call it. These guys will grab it and pull it for you. Sometimes what happens is some people like paintings in different ways. They like, you know, one or two really nice prints and that's it, or they just want a ton all over it. I do caution you that sometimes, you know, I've gotten greedy before. I'm like, oh, I want another one just right there, and then the cheetah steps on top of another paw print. So it's up to you, you guys. Pick which ones you want. These are your cheetah masterpieces. But like I said, Nia has been doing this for quite some time. We're just excited that we are able to do this now for you guys and share it with you. We've typically done these paintings in the past for silent auctions, or if you guys saw some of her paintings that are on the Zoofari auction that was last night. But now you guys get to see her do one and take it home yourself. So that's pretty great. All right, well, we'll go get the cat and then we'll talk some more about cheetahs.
Is this anybody's first time here? Oh, wow, so many. Welcome. Okay. I'm new here too. I haven't even seen the whole zoo, so. I like your rhino shirt.
Oh, thank you.
So where's everybody from then if it's your first?
We're Vegas.
Oh wow, party. Love it. Okay.
South Carolina.
Oh, same. That's where I'm from. Yep, just got here 2 weeks ago.
She was very excited to come out, which is great. We love it when our animals like participating, and we always want to set them up for success and enjoy the training and programs. I'll go ahead and talk some cheetah facts for you guys, and then, like I said, interrupt me if you have any questions. So here in our Pet Ambassador program, we've been doing this for about 40 years now. We have one of the best, well, in our opinion, the best cheetah program in the country. Our director likes to call us the cheetah capital of the world. Not only do we have this amazing ambassador program where we're able to run our cheetahs here in this running yard in normal non-COVID times, but we also take our cheetahs to schools and do educational programs. And we also have one of the best breeding programs in the United States. So aside from the ambassador cheetahs that you see here on the zoo grounds, like Nia herself, we also have cheetahs that are not available to be viewed to the public at our breeding facility, which is up in Mason. It's totally separate, and up there we've actually had up to 65 cheetah cubs born there, which is a pretty high number. I think the only zoo that has had more than us has been Wildlife Safari in Oregon, but that is pretty awesome. It did take a long time to figure out how to breed cheetahs in captivity. They are very elusive animals and they're very hard to breed, and it's been a problem because these guys are endangered. They are Africa's most endangered big cat. In the last 100 years, we have lost 90% of the cheetah. So there are only, roughly estimates right now are about 6,400 cheetahs left in the world. And that number is unfortunately dwindling as well. So the work and the effort that we are doing with cheetahs here stateside is really important, not only to help educate people about the cheetah, but also to help propagate their species. So we've worked with zoos across the nation in what's called a Species Survival Plan, SSP, to basically manage these guys in a way that's going to help them to live on and help with their species. So a big problem with cheetahs is that their genetics, especially in Africa, are very bottlenecked, which means a lot of them are interrelated. Obviously causes a lot of problems, but they don't have the ability to mix and breed with each other because their habitats keep being fragmented. They're further and further apart from each other in different reserve spaces. And so that's a problem for breeding them when these guys already have some genetic issues to begin with. And so in zoos, we are actually able to selectively choose how to breed cheetahs. Each of our cheetahs gets a genetic marker, the different things that they'll get, but it's mostly based on their relatedness to each other. There's a big spreadsheet that shows all the cheetahs at AZA zoos in the United States, and it gives them a ranking of 1 to 4 on if they should breed with another cheetah. So it's this big, huge spreadsheet, and so we won't breed cheetahs that are XYZ related, you know, if it's a very low probability, but if it's high, then we might try to breed those cheetahs. So there's different things that go into that. We look at the different facilities that are around there, so they have the capacity to breed. There's not a lot of zoos that do. Cincinnati is one of them. Do they have the space for it? And there's also the whole up to luck and chance, because Like I said, these guys are difficult to breed, and they're picky. They're picky breeders. With cheetahs, it is female choice. So you could decide, oh, these two are a perfect match, but if the girl cheetah doesn't like that boy cheetah, that's not going to happen. So there is a lot of science that goes behind it. And that's above my pay grade, actually, because I don't work with those cheetahs. We work here at the Ambassador Cheetahs. We still get to talk about them, though, which is pretty cool. So what makes an animal an ambassador cheetah versus a breeding cheetah is a number of different things. Primarily the reason that they are in our ambassador program is because they were not able to be raised by mom. Mom will usually raise her cubs for about 2 years, and then they'll be on their own. So that happens in zoos, happens in Africa, but sometimes mom is not able to raise those cubs. If she only has 1 or 2 cubs in her litter, oftentimes she'll actually reject it. And when she does that, she is able to then breed again. So that happens
this one right here.
Because these guys, they have a lot of maternal investment. It takes about 2 years to raise cheetahs to adulthood. And if they only have 1 cub, they might not actually want to invest in that. They're going to have a higher success rate if they can breed again. So that still does happen in zoos. Unfortunately. And if there's not another cheetah at another zoo, so say if Nia was able to be paired with a cheetah at, you know, that zoo in Oregon or Columbus Zoo, we could have sent her over there, but that oftentimes doesn't happen. And so when there is no mom to raise that cheetah is going to be hand raised. So there are a few facilities here in the United States, AZA ambassador programs like ours, that can have the capacity to hand raise a cheetah. It requires a lot of investment, a lot of time from the beginning and throughout their entire lives, because our cheetahs, they stay with us their whole lives. Nia has been here, she was born at our mass farm, and she has been here her whole life ever since then, as part of our program. So all of that training is us developing that really close relationship with her from a very young age, and having her learn to trust us and us to trust her as well. She knows that we're never going to put her in a situation where she needs to feel scared or threatened. And everything that we do with her is through positive reinforcement. So as you can see here, as she's painting, she's getting rewards from Alicia. She walks through the paint, she gets a treat, she gets some scratches. All things that Nia likes and enjoys. And so this is a very positive experience with her, which is what we always try to do whenever we're working with any of our animals here at the zoo, making sure that they are willing and loving the experience as well. So this is also just great enrichment for her. It's time for her to come out here, you know, feel the paint in between your toes. That's a different texture as well. And also get to see some new faces, which we haven't seen in a while because of COVID. So
That one?
All right. Do you guys have any questions for me? Otherwise, I can just keep talking my ear off. I see you guys picked out some good paintings. Like I said, Nia here, she's a great painter. There's one way that, especially if you look at her paw prints, that you can tell that they're cheetah paw prints. At the bottom, there's kind of like a little W in her paw. You can kind of see that. That's one way to tell that it's cheetah. And then sometimes, if she had a really good step, you'll be able to see her nails actually in the top of that. So some of those, you can kind of see those little nail prints, which is one way that you can tell that it's a cheetah, because cheetahs, they actually have...
May I have the second one?
Their nails are always out. It's different than most
Oh, sorry, the next one.
It's kind of similar to
I'm sorry, the
your
second from my left. That one there. Thank you.
That's how you can tell if it's a cheetah print. Those nails act as they're like built-in running cleats. Nope, each person gets one. Yeah.
This one.
This is so cool.
Which one do you want?
You guys see one?
This one? That's a good one.
This one's got some good ones on it.
Say that,
You want this one?
every time I pick up a painting. That's a good one.
We got a lot of different groups. If you guys can huddle close in together in your group, we're going to try to do pictures. Emily will take the picture for you guys. You can hand her your phone. And then Alicia will sit Nia down here. So you guys stay where you are seated. Please keep your masks on as well. And we'll try to get through everyone for a nice picture with the cheetah.
Let's grab.
The next party's phone. No, you gotta keep it on.
Are they really?
They are, yes.
Wow. What kind of treats is she getting?
So she's eating raw beef, so it's kind of probably chunk meat.
I guess sausage or something.
No, it's not smoked or anything. It's just raw. raw meat, yep.
Very much a predator.
Yep, these guys are obligate carnivores, so that means they're eating woolly meat. They eat about 3 pounds of beef a day. We also rotate through once a week. They'll get a big horse bone that they like to chew on for a few hours. They also have a prey day where they'll get frozen thawed meat. Our cheetahs are pretty picky though. Some of them are not really big into eating food that's hard for them to eat. Nia will sometimes eat a bunny if she's feeling like something different, but sometimes she's like, eh, it's a little gross.
I like your tattoo.
Your
tattoo,
oh, thank you.
I
They're my favorite.
Can we hold up our...
So do you guys love cheetahs? I love your shoes too. That's awesome.
Oh, cool. I didn't see that. That's awesome.
I love it. So what's funny is all of us, we love our jobs. This is a really hard field to get into, but none of us are from Cincinnati. We actually came here from scratch. So all of us trainers are from someplace else, but the cheetahs brought us here.
I'm hearing her purring, right?
Yes, yeah, that's her purring.
Oh.
So cheetahs are one of those cats that are kind of right on the cusp of like big cat or small cat. What really tells the difference is big cats can roar and small cats purr. So lions can roar, but they can't purr.
Not sometimes they do.
beautiful.
Yeah, sometimes
Good
they
job.
do.
Watching that behind you guys.
Thank you.
Sure.
Yeah, so good. They're very nice. I'm super excited.
Have you guys ever come to the zoo and you're walking by the yard? This is our running yard, but when we're not using it for programs, it is just a space that we rotate all of our cats through. So you might see Nia out there. One way you can identify if it's Nia or not for sure is by looking at her tail. So you look at her tail and it's actually shorter than most cheetah tails. And at the end, it's just black there, and she actually has a bit of bone that like is a kink like this at the end. So she's kind of got this short kinked tail.
like
She was
that one.
born with it. It has not affected her in any way. She's actually one of our fastest
a
runners
kinky
here in our program. But if you're ever wondering, oh, is that the cheetah that painted for me? Just look for that tail, and that'll be a surefire way.
Oh, I
Also,
see.
if it's
Yeah,
like
it looks like
a
she's got a little
blizzard
pom-pom
or
on her
raining or
there.
snowing, it's
Okay.
perfect
That's how my
for
cat
her.
was.
It'd be naturalized. She likes the weather.
She loves being out there in any kind of weather, so that's also a good bet if you're not sure if it's Nia or not, is to do that as well. So yeah, we're also out here with we rotate our other ambassador cheetahs as well. You may have also seen a cheetah exhibit that's across from the cafe. That's 3 more of our cheetahs. They're our retired runners is what we call them. We have Red, who is perfectly healthy at this point, but she decided he was not about that running life. He's still part of our ambassador program, but if you see one cheetah out there by himself, that's probably Red. If you do see 2 cheetahs out there together, that's a coalition. That's what we call a group of cheetahs. Sometimes you will see cheetahs stay
Sounds
together
very
with their
official.
brothers throughout their lives. Females, you're pretty much always going to be on your own. They do not like being around any other cats. But sometimes males will. And so Bravo and Chance have been together their whole lives. And they are 16 years old, which is insanely old for cheetahs. The mean life expectancy for cheetahs is about 11.5. So
Wow.
They are still doing great though. They're in good health. They just had their annual checkups, you know, a little bit of arthritis here and there, but what can you expect from a 16-year-old cheetah?
Yeah.
They're otherwise still doing good as well. So we've got lots of cheetahs here. Like I said, pretty much a cheetah capital.
How much is this? Do you want a dog companion?
Hi, Nia.
You're barking.
Additional support in terms of like
donation.
I don't know, like monetarily. That might be a question for some other people at the zoo. But I know, we definitely got a lot of attention from them. You know, we were really big on sharing their story when they grew up. You guys didn't hear, he was asking about Chris and Remus. Definitely being able to share, and our promo team, our PR team is really great. They really encourage us to share with them any pictures or anything that we get. And so I think that really helped to get people interested in hearing about Chris Remus. We also had some time over the winter and before COVID where people could see them on a schedule, so a lot of people got to see them in person, and it led to a lot of really great stuff for them. I mean, they have their own beer at Listerman's, they have their own t-shirt at Cincy Shirts, they have their own Disney feature on Disney Plus. If you guys haven't seen it, the Chris Remus are on a show called It's a Dog's Life. Disney came to film with us last fall.
Oh, that's cool.
Awesome.
So yeah, it's been really great. It's been really fun to have these guys and that people get so invested in them. It's always fun for us because obviously we love them. We take care of them every day, and they're basically like our kids. But for having other people to come and care and know their story and everything is really, really cool. I don't know the measure benefit of it, but I know it's a lot.
Follow them on Facebook. And
Yeah.
I saw when you guys had them out on the street.
Yeah.
That was the first one.
Yeah, they're quite the duo. They're pretty good. Yeah, we're trying to work in sometime where we're going to be able to have them on more of a schedule in the future. So we just have to figure it out with COVID. But so stay tuned on the website and the Facebook page if that happens in the future. That'll be the first place to look so you guys can see them on a more regular schedule.
How much did she weigh?
She's like 90 pounds.
Yeah.
Yeah. Females are smaller than males, so females are usually, like 85, 90 pounds. Males can be about 20 pounds heavier. We do have an exception to the rule, though. We do have the largest cheetah pretty much in any AZA zoo. His name is Donnie. He's about 140 pounds.
Oh,
Very large for a boy cheetah. But he's still healthy. He's just,
a
a
chunky
big boy.
one.
But yeah, they aren't very, they're not the longest lived cats, but like I said, they're pretty much about the same as like a, big dog kind of lifespan. So that's why it's also really important for when they are breeding and they are in their natural range, if they only have one or two cubs, like the chances of them raising that cub successfully to adulthood is so low to begin with. And also if these cheetahs are only living up to 10 years, 2 years of their lives invested on one cub that's got like a 10% chance of making it to adulthood, like it's really hard for them. So a big part of that is that's why they're often rejecting those cubs. It happens a lot with first time moms as well, because they don't know exactly what they're doing and stuff like that. So yeah, it still happens in zoos, but we have a lot more in place here to help accommodate that as well. And cheetahs that are in our ambassador programs or in any ambassador programs, you can go to Columbus or San Diego or something like that, they are not part of that breeding program that I was talking about earlier, technically, but if they needed to be part of it, they could be. It's not, they're all intact and everything, but that's just kind of a worst case. A lot of times also it's the cheetahs that are rejected by mom are already well represented in our population, or maybe they've got some other genetic things that there's a reason why there wasn't a big litter of them to begin with. So the cheetahs in our program, their main goal is being an ambassador and being able to do cool stuff like this for you guys.
So the ones that are raised in the ambassador program like this won't be a breeding cheetah?
Unless they need to. Unless some, disease comes and wipes out 50 cheetahs or something, then they could.
Is that primarily because like their mothering instinct won't be there because they've been around people, or?
Not necessarily, more just because their genetics are already well represented.
Okay.
It's kind of like having two full-time jobs, like if you're a breeding cheetah versus an ambassador cheetah, that's a lot to ask for one cheetah to do. So usually tend to just give them one or the other job. And yeah, between all the zoos in North America, we actually have better genetics within the population here than the cheetahs in Africa, because we're able to manage that and selectively breed for them. And also they have a lot more success because, living in a zoo is a pretty nice life for an animal. You've got, full-time trainers, nutritionists, you don't have to worry about finding your food or disease, right? You've got enrichment, all that good stuff that makes our animals live really happy lives here at the zoo. But unfortunately, a lot of animals in Africa don't get that kind of care. So there's a lot of different factors that play into why that happens.
Do all the cheetahs get a dog?
No, not all of them, because you can hear Moose barking because he's not out here. So we get dogs for our cheetahs if they do not have any siblings. So sometimes we can either pair orphan cheetahs with other cheetahs and they can grow up together, that's ideal, or maybe a cheetah will be adopted by another mom that has another litter. But if that's not the case, then we'll get a dog to be that companion for the cheetah. So We want them to still have that sibling and that bonding and that growing up that they would have had with their cheetah, but like there's not a lot of them, so dogs are a lot easier to come by, and they have really great temperaments that can kind of help bring out that cheetah, bring them up successfully. So it's really important for us. Our main goal, some zoos do it differently than us. Some people have them as like emotional support dogs. That's not really what they are for us. They are just there to be their sibling. They're just to be their best bud and grow up with them. It's also really great when we have like a program like this, if we can have them play with their dog beforehand, they kind of get all that play energy out, and then they're focused and ready to do something like a painting program. And that's also part of growing up with the cheetahs. And the training that we do, the cheetahs learn from a young age that they can't play or jump or fight on their trainers. They get to do all that energy with their dog, and the dog knows how to figure that out better than any of us ever could. And so the dogs kind of help us to train them to be those great ambassadors that you see this year. So Nia did have a dog when she was younger as well, but that dog has since been adopted out, which is what happens when our cheetahs reach about sexual maturity at about 2 years. They usually are like, okay, I'm good, I can be on my own now. So those dogs serve that role for the cheetahs as well. So it's pretty cool. Yeah.
We are getting towards the end of our time, so we have maybe one last question. Then back out.
Alright guys, well those paintings are certified from the zoo. You can check on the back. Drew a little arrow to Nia's picture so you can tell which one is her. And then on top of that, what you want to do is they're going to be pretty much dry by the time you guys head out of here, but just to be safe, especially on those thicker portions, what you guys can do is you can spray them down with a clear coat spray paint that you get at, Hobby Lobby or wherever, or you can just use like a hairspray to help seal it. This is, since I said it is that, cat safe paint, it's not the most adhesive, so we want to make sure to give it that extra protection, and then it'll last forever for you guys. So thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us today. Hopefully next year you guys can come back and see Nia running in one of our programs.
Yeah.
Fingers crossed.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
Thank you.